All right, today we're going to dive into this really powerful, kind of counterintuitive idea about money. What if the key to getting ahead isn't about acting faster, but about finding your bearings first? We're going to look at a whole different order of operations, one that puts orientation way before action. It all starts with that familiar jolt, right? Something shifts out in the world. Maybe the stock market has one of those crazy volatile days, and you feel it, that little knot of uncertainty in your stomach. And then, bam, you start seeing it everywhere. A headline pops up on your phone screaming about inflation or a coming recession or some brand new can't-miss opportunity. The noise just gets louder and louder. And it's not just the big news headlines, is it? A friend casually mentions some hot new stock they bought, or a family member asks you a slightly too pointed question about your savings. And just like that, doubt starts to creep in. You start second-guessing everything you thought you had figured out. So all of this pressure from the market, the news, the people around you, it all boils down to this one single urgent question. What should I do? It feels like the most responsible question in the world. It feels urgent. But what if asking that question first is the very thing leading us down the wrong path? Okay, so let's dig into that. That impulse to do something. It feels like being in control, doesn't it? Like you're being proactive. But what if that very impulse is what's keeping your finances in this constant state of chaos? And that impulse, that need to act now, leads us straight to the core of the issue. When we jump from feeling anxious straight into taking action, we often end up trying to solve the wrong problem entirely. And here's the absolute heart of it. Action without orientation often solves the wrong problem. Just let that sink in for a second. All that frantic activity, all that moving money around, it feels so productive, but it might just be busyness, not progress. So this forces us to ask a really critical question. Are your actions for short-term relief, or are they for long-term progress? See, most of those reactive decisions we make are just for relief, moving money to feel a little bit safer in the moment. But real progress, the kind that lasts, comes from improving the underlying structure of your finances, not just patching up the immediate anxiety. See, here's the trap. If the foundation of your financial life is kind of shaky or unclear, any action you take is just going to recycle that feeling of anxiety. Sure, you might get a temporary hit of relief, but the root problem is still there, just waiting for the next scary headline to trigger it all over again. Okay, so if jumping straight into action isn't the answer, then what is? Well, this brings us to a whole different way of thinking, a new order of operations. It's a simple but really profound shift that puts something else first: orientation. So what exactly is orientation? It's actually super simple. It's knowing where you are before you decide where to go. It's like looking at the map before you start driving the car. Now, it is really, really important to get this straight. Orientation is not about being passive. It's not about avoiding decisions or just sitting on your hands. It's the total opposite. It's a proactive state of gaining clarity. It's the focused, quiet work that allows your future actions to be precise, effective, and calm. Okay, that sounds great in theory, right? But how do you actually do it? Well, it all starts by changing the kind of questions you ask yourself. It's about moving from those reactive, downstream questions to more foundational, upstream ones. You know the questions I'm talking about, the ones we ask when we're in a panic. How much should I be saving? Should I be investing more? Am I being too conservative? Should I just change something? They all feel incredibly urgent, but that urgency is just a symptom. They only feel so pressing because the foundational why behind the money hasn't been defined yet. So, moving upstream completely flips the script. Instead of starting with how much should I save, you start with orientation. You ask the real first question: what is this money for? And only then do you move on to the action of deciding how much. The why has to come before the how, every single time. And these are the kinds of questions that give you a real solid foundation. And that last one, that one is absolutely crucial. Knowing what a pile of money is not for. Think about it. Money you're saving for a house down payment in 2 years, its job is to be safe. Its job is not to shoot for the moon. But your retirement money 30 years from now, well, that has a totally different job description. Defining the purpose changes absolutely everything. There's a reason so many of us skip this step. It's because orientation, well, it's quiet work. It doesn't look flashy. From the outside, it doesn't look like much is happening at all. But internally, the payoff is just immense. Yeah, from the outside, it looks like you're doing absolutely nothing. There are no trades being made, no transactions, nothing to show for your work. But on the inside, oh, something profound is happening. By taking the time to define the purpose of your money, you dramatically slash the number of decisions you even think you need to make. And that right there is where real financial peace begins to set in. And this is what builds that very special kind of confidence. It's the ability to see a scary headline or hear about the next big thing and know instantly that it doesn't apply to you. Not because you're ignorant, but because you know for a fact that it doesn't fit the job you've already assigned to your money. All right, to bring this all home, let's lock it in with one final powerful idea. The goal here isn't constant movement, it's thoughtful placement. So what does this quiet work actually look like day to day? Well, it's stuff like this. It's giving your money jobs before you give it numbers. It's sorting your assets by their purpose. This is for long-term growth, this is for short-term safety, and accepting that they shouldn't all be doing the same thing. And maybe most important of all, it's learning to resist that frantic internal urge to just make something happen. Look, if you remember just one thing from all of this, let it be this. Clarity is not created by movement. It's created by placement. It comes from putting each dollar, each investment in its proper place based on the specific job it's supposed to do for you. And that, right there, that's the beautiful, incredible payoff of doing the work of orientation. When everything has a purpose and a place, the constant noise of financial decisions just starts to fade away. The system you've built begins to do the hard work for you, protecting you from your own worst reactive emotional impulses. So, I'll leave you with a question to chew on, and this applies to so much more than just money. Which decisions in your life are waiting for orientation? Where are you rushing to act when what you really need is to just pause and get your bearings first?